All right, so I'm here at the gym in the parking lot, but this was on my mind. I wanted to talk to you all about having a disability and also working at the same time. So I did have a temporary disability, and my mom used to always tell me, Christy, you know, for that diagnosis you could get a check for it, you know. So I did apply to disability and I did get the check. It goes by however many, however much money you have into, like, you put into, like, you know, how do I say it? You know, when you see your paycheck and they say SSDI and social security and all that other kind of stuff that's taken out your paycheck, that determines how much you'll get for disability. But if you really want to know how much you'll get for disability, you could go to the website, to the Social Security Administrative website. It's ssa.gov, and you create an account, and it will tell you if you were to apply for disability today, this is going to be the amount that you're going to get. And that is 100% true. That is 100% correct, because this is a Social Security Administrative website. So what I wanted to say is, I was on a disability for a very short time frame. I completed my nurse practitioner school at that time. I was not working because I had this temporary disability. And what I wanted to say is, when I started back working, they didn't automatically cut off the check. They don't cut off the check just right away. They give you a 9-month waiting period, or like a 9-month trial period, before they cut the check off. And for like the disability, the check comes on time every month. It comes on time every single month. And then, like, for the disability, as far as insurance, for the first 2 years I received Medicaid Gold Plus, or like Medicaid Gold. And then after 2 years, you'll be eligible to qualify to receive the Medicare benefits. So after 2 years, I did apply for like Medicare. I went to my doctor's office, and I was like, at the time, you know, like, my mom was telling me, oh, you could get like Medicare, this, that, the other. But I was thinking about it. I really don't need Medicare. I'm not that sick where I need this expensive insurance plan. Like, the Medicaid Gold was good for me. It took care of everything that I needed. I don't have any serious like issues. I walk, I talk, like everything like that. So, you know, I didn't have like no cancer or like anything like that. So that's another thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, because I have to figure out, how do I fix this? So I was on the disability, I believe I applied April of the year 2021. It took about 2.5 months, like maybe 3 months, for me to get approved. I actually did the application myself. I know some people go to insurance, not to insurance, they go and get lawyers and all kind of stuff to get their disability claim approved and have the lawyer do the application and all of that. No, I did not do that. I went to ssa.gov, which stands for Social Security Administration. I went to that website. I created an account. I saved my login information, my password, and it says here, if you need a replacement social security card, it has every year that you made money, and then it says, if you want to apply for disability, click right here. I filled out the application. I think I printed it out. And I'm thinking, did I take it to my doctor's office? Because at the time I was going to this major hospital for my situation, and which was like a mental disorder. Let me just put it out there so I don't have anybody guessing or anything like that. So I had a mental disorder, and where my judgment was like kind of clouded and stuff like that. And my mom had told me, say, well, you out of work, because I had stopped working because I was unable to focus. So so I had gotten a check for it, and to make a long story short, where was I at? I applied April 2021, and I went to see my psychiatrist, and I told him that I was applying for disability. And I think on my paper, I think my doctor said, oh, we'll just go ahead and submit it, or he just signed it. I mean, like, it was so simple. It was so simple because I'm telling the truth about everything. So I think I showed him the papers, and he just signed the papers stating that, you know, she comes here for this diagnosis or whatever. And, you know, that was that. Like, mine was very simple. I wasn't trying to get nobody to believe I had a disability or try to fake anything or try to make anything up. It wasn't anything to that extent. I wasn't trying to act like I was disabled or nothing like that. So mine was like fairly quick. So I applied April of year 2021. I got my first check, I think it was August, at the very beginning of August, but it took me like maybe less than 4 months to get approved. So before I got the check, I was told that I was approved. So that's why I said it took me like maybe 3 months to, you know, like to get approved, because they usually say like the waiting period is 4 months. So what happens is that how can I say it? I want to not go into too many different directions. They apply for, so how they do it is when you fill it out, you apply for Social Security income and also Social Security disability income. That's SSDI, and then it's SSI. So I forgot how it went, but with the amount of credits or the amount of benefit I had in, it surpassed how much I would get if I was to get Social Security income, like a loan or something like that. So they cut off the Social Security income, and they only gave me the Social Security disability income. And then they told me that I would have a Medicaid Gold, which was perfect for me because I didn't have anything serious going on. And I still couldn't get food stamps at that time. I was like, I couldn't get food stamps because I was receiving income. So that was that. Then they backtracked, like the month that I applied was April. So they backtracked for the month of April, they backtracked for the month of May, for the month of June, and for the month of July, and stuff like that. And they paid me the money from when I applied. Also, I was on it from April of 2021. I applied April of 2021. I got my first check. It was August of 2021. And then I stayed on it full time all through year 2022 and almost all of year 2023. So almost about 2 years. Well, let's see, April 2021 to April 2022 to April 2023. Wait, so April 2022 makes 1 year. April 2023 makes 2 years. So I was on it for 2.5 years, and then I started back working as a registered nurse. And I was making $43, or was it $42 per hour? I think it was $42 per hour. And I reported like immediately. I think they give you like 10 days or 14 days. I think it's 10 days. I think it's 10 or 14 days to report your income. And I reported it because I'm not going to jail. I don't do fraud. I'm not going to jail. I'm not being locked up like a cage animal for nobody. So I reported the income. And the girl, like the very first girl that I spoke with, she was like, you need to keep every single page. Well, no. Well, I reported it. I think I reported it online. Or no, I called up somebody because I'm older. So I called somebody up on the telephone, spoke with them. I told them where I was working, how much I was making, my date of hire, my first paycheck or whatever, my first, like everything, like all the questions that they asked me. So then I noticed I still received the paycheck the next month, because remember, with Social Security disability income, it's a 1 month lag. So when you get paid in January, that was really for the month of December. When you get paid in February, that's for the month of January. When you get paid in March, that's for the month of February. So it's a 1 month lag. Like, it's a 1 month lag. So I realized, I'm sorry, it's a bunch of noise. It's a bunch of noise, a car driving down the street. So I realized, oh, okay, that was because I started working November 20th of year 2023. So I think I called and reported it on the very last day. Like, if they give you 10 days, I think I reported it on the 9th day. If they give you 12 days, I think I reported it on the 11th day. Something like that. I called up and like reported it. So I did that, and then I got the check again the next following month. So I called back to Social Security Administration and let them know, hey, I'm working, you know, because I don't want no fraud. Like, why am I still receiving this paycheck? You know, I don't want them coming snapping pictures of me saying, oh yeah, you claiming disability, but we see you working and this, that, that, and other. Like, no. I called them up like, hey, I'm working. I work as a registered nurse. I work here. I'm making this amount. I'm making $42 an hour. Blah, 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 blah. I started work November 20th, year 2023. Blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. And they was like, oh yeah, like, we have it in our system. Like, we have it in our system. So I said, well, why am I still receiving the paycheck? I said, I understand the first one that came, but why did I continue to get this one? And she was like, oh, that's because they give you like a 9-month trial period. And I'm like, well, what is a 9-month trial period? And she was like, they give you 9 months to work. And the months can be consecutively, like the months could be broken up. She says sometimes people who be on disability, they go back to work, but then sometimes they stop working because of their disability. And we do that so that you don't have to reapply for benefits, and it's just easy for you to restart back onto your disability because you're still receiving a paycheck. And I said, okay, so I get to keep all this money? She was like, no. She was like, make sure you save all this money into your account because Social Security is going to ask you for that money back. I'm like, what? I'm like, so why y'all going to continue giving it to me if you're going to want it back? She was like, cuz that's going to be considered like an overpayment. And I did see when I log into my account at the Social Security Administration, like the SSA.gov, it says something about an overpayment. But she was like, you'll be made aware, like, we're not just going to cut off like the benefits like that. It would have to be a court hearing and everything like that. It's not so simple for like the benefits to be cut off. Now, mind you, I'm spending this money. I'm spending this money because I can actually use this money, right? So the check continued to come. So when the check came again for the 3rd month, I called back up to Social Security, you know, like the office, called them again. I called the 1-800 number and reported it again. And they was like, we have it in our system. Like, we have it in our system. I was like, okay, I just want to make sure. Because one thing Christy Green is not about, I'm not about that jail life. I am not going to jail for nothing. I ain't about to steal no food stamps. Like, I know, you know, you tell your little white lies or whatever, but I ain't telling anything that's going to get me locked up. Anything that's going to get me locked up or sent to jail, it ain't happening. I'm not about to make up some phony lie and go to jail for $200-300 of food stamps. And I know lots of people tell white lies in their food stamps. Yeah, you tell your little white lies in your food stamps, you know, but anything that's going to get me locked up and sent to prison or get arrested or have a charge placed on me, I'm not that desperate. I'd rather go and work than to have my freedom taken away. So anyway, that was that. So then I got a letter in the mail, like around about the 5th month of me working. Well, I think I got it about the 7th month of me working, but the paper came in saying, oh, we see that you started working at such and such place, you're making this amount, your hire date was this, that, and the other. We have you for 5 months out of the 9-month work trial period. So I was like, okay, good. I'm happy that they have it in their system that I'm working, because I'm not about that jail life. I'm serious about not going to jail. I do not believe in going to jail. I don't believe in going to jail. So anyway, that happened. That was 2023. So I started working at the end of 2023, November 20th, 2023. And here it is. Today is October, is it 15th? Today is October 16th, year 2025. And I'm still receiving the paycheck. So I called somebody, we have a friend of the family that personally works for, I mean, not personally, but that works for Social Security. So I'm like, well, did they forget about me? Like, am I going to be able to keep all this money or whatever? And she told me no. She was like, no. She was like, Social Security is just behind. They're just behind, but they're going to want all that money back from you. And they're going to ask you to be placed on she told me that you could ask to be placed on a payment plan. And I was like, what? Why would they continue to give you this money that they know that you really can't afford to pay back? She was like, well, you can appeal it, but 9 times out of 10, they still gonna want their money. So that's just a little snippet of what it's like on being on a disability and receiving and while you start working. And when you start working, at least that's what happened to me when I start working. I live where I live. Signing out.